I'm listening.
I don't like when you do video.
I know you don't. I'm listening. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys because I was talking to some of the girls in our little chat group, and I got inspired to talk to you guys about nothing changes if nothing changes, and how important it is to start working on our behaviors when we get sober. When we get if you get on maintenance, if you go to a rehab for 30 days and go to detox and get everything out of your system, if you are on, like I said, if you're on maintenance medications, if you are anything, like when you get into recovery, whether it be on maintenance or abstinent, there's so much more to getting sober and being in recovery. Hey Heather, I wanted to talk to you because I have got to share my experience with you guys, because this is the real tea, girl. So when I first got, okay, here's the deal. I've been on Suboxone for about 3 years, and I'm starting to taper January 6th with my doctor. And so that's, but let me tell you, like, what happened when I first got out of treatment. So I got out of treatment after being in for 30 days, right? And when I got out, I was tripping. I was like, oh my God, I want to get high. You know, I'd been locked up for 30 days, and I got out and I was like, I need to get high. And my husband was like, you're not getting high. You're getting on medication, assisted therapy. And I was so mad, you guys, because I was like, fuck that, you know, that's just training addictions. I had all these negative things to say because I had never been on it, and I didn't know anything about it. Nate, go watch the TV. You're making me mad. You just had your friend over and had a great time. Now stop. Mommy has to talk to her friends because I'm inspired right now. Now, you know, Mommy done giving you, you've got the whole world in your hands over there. Hey, Byron. Okay, so I got on medically assisted treatment after being in rehab for 30 days, right? Shanna, you don't understand. Like, I have given this boy, he has had his friend over today. We played. I mean, we've done everything. So this is Mommy's time. I got out of treatment, and then I got put on medically assisted treatment. And I thought, all these times I tried to get sober, where I was messing up, you guys, was I thought that if I stopped using drugs and alcohol, that my life was just going to automatically return to the way it was when I was a young girl. You know, like it was automatically going to be good again, right? Wow, was I wrong? Wow, is recovery is so much more than not taking drugs and alcohol. In fact, recovery has nothing to do with being sober. You can be sober off drugs and alcohol and not have any idea what recovery is. Recovery is changing those old behaviors. Recovery is working on our mental health, getting all that stuff stabilized, changing the fact, like, you guys, the first 6 months of my sobriety, I was kleptomaniac. And I had to go to my sponsor every time I stole something from the Walmart and tell her, I just stole a bag of makeup, you know? And I would have to come clean and be honest. And you know how hard it was for me, you guys, to get honest about those times where I would fall back? It was embarrassing to me. I felt ashamed, but it was almost like I felt ashamed after I realized that I couldn't stop doing it. It was addiction, just like my drug addiction. So we can be sober from drugs and alcohol and still be pieces of shit. We can be sober from drugs and alcohol and still not have any idea what recovery is, and be doing addict behaviors and just not be on drugs and alcohol, you know? And that's why it's so important for us, all of us, to get involved in some kind of counseling, to get involved in some kind of like 12-step fellowship or smart recovery or refuge recovery, and we really need to make sure that we get psychologically evaluated by the doctor, you guys, to make sure that we don't have like bipolar and depression, anxiety, and have our doctors get us stabilized. Because if you're not stabilized in your mental health, then everything you're doing to try and stay sober is going to go out the door, because your mental health is going to cause you to act out also. So if you can get yourself stabilized with that mental health,
Mommy, watch it.
what? If you can get yourself stabilized with your mental health and then start really working hard with your counselor, therapist, and some kind of mentor.
Mommy, hear it.
Some,
Hear it and be quiet.
I hear you, baby.
What?
Good. He just played Happy Birthday on his piano. If you can get a mentor, like a woman, if you're a woman, get a woman. If you're a man, get a man. Stop, baby, stop. Someone that is, he's 4 and he's driving me insane, girl. I'm in over my head too, so don't feel alone.
Well, Daddy's a man.
He is. So the women stick with the women, the men stick with the men. Get yourself a mentor. Get yourself somebody who's been sober a little bit longer than you have, that you see that they have what you want. When you look at them, you go, wow, they've got what I want. I want to be like that when I get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? And oh, it is unbelievable. Let me just tell you guys. Oh, that's really spaced apart. Nate's 4, and I know that feeling, Heather, of like when I got my son back, because my son was in DHS custody. When I got my son back, I was brand new. I didn't even have 6 months.
Would you never be quiet?
What, Nate?
So I can talk to you.
What?
I just want something.
Okay, go. I didn't even have 6 months sober, and I was losing my mind. I didn't know how to do anything. I was tripping. I was struggling. And then, like, all the mom duties that I had to do, then I had the mom shame, that shame because I lost my son to DHS, and because I used drugs while I was pregnant, and because my son had to be away from me, you know? Heather, and that's normal. We're all good at being manipulative. That's what we do as alcoholics and addicts, is we manipulate. But here's the thing, and that's part of your mental illness too, Heather. Once you get your medication and everything and get balanced out with that, it won't subside all the way, but I know my sister's the same way. But what you got to do, okay, there's a part in the big book, right? And it talks about being constitutionally incapable of being honest with yourself. There are such unfortunates. They seem to have been born that way. They cannot grasp a manner of living that requires rigorous honesty. So here's the deal. If you can get honest with yourself and say, I'm being manipulative right now, and just call it, get someone else that knows you well enough that can call you out and say, you're manipulating me right now, and I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to let you manipulate me today. You know, and get yourself to the doctor, get your medications leveled out, and I'm telling you, girl, get yourself in the 12 steps. Go to NA, go to AA, and get yourself a sponsor. It will be the best thing you ever did. I'm on medically assisted treatment, and I went to AA and got myself a sponsor, and it saved my life. They taught me how to live my life differently. I've had a whole change in personality, a spiritual experience. Like, I can't explain it to you other than this, that I used to be a thief. I used to be a liar. I used to cheat on my man. I used to be promiscuous. I used to be a criminal. I used to hurt others. And now I am a literal different person, totally changed. And it's only because of the process of becoming connected to God, my higher power, and knowing Him, and knowing that the whole time I was in my addiction, He was there, right there beside me. He was there guiding me so I didn't die. He chose me. He gave me grace. That's why I'm here living right now, because I should not be alive. I am a miracle. Just like each and every one of you are miracles. We have been chosen. We have been down to the bottom of the bottom, and now we're trying to get our ways back up to the top. And people like us who have to work against adversity, we respect and we appreciate what we have that much more because we've had to face adversity. So don't look at this as, like I'm failing. I can't take my medication right. Don't think of it like that. Stop talking to yourself like that. Talk to yourself like this. I'm going to get on track. I'm going to give my medication to somebody that I can trust, and they're going to dole it out to me. Because here's the thing. Your brain has practiced overtaking your medication for so long that you're on a loop. It's the same way for everybody else. Addiction, when you're in your active addiction, your brain is on a loop. And what it does is it just goes like this, okay? And it goes trigger, thought, obsession, use. Trigger, thought, obsession, use. And you go around and around in a circle, okay? You have to break that circle by stopping your thinking. You have to stop it at the beginning. Trigger thought right there. When you start thinking, oh, I want to overtake my medication. What's your trigger? My kids are acting up. They're driving me insane. Then the thought comes in. Let me take an extra medication. Right there. Stop it. Play the tape all the way through. If I take my extra medication, what's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to go to the doctor, they're going to count it, and I'm going to get in trouble. Right, Shayna, and that's it, but it's a process. It happens like over time. I was the same way at the beginning, you guys, because I had to break that vicious cycle of me overtaking medications because, listen, it's not your fault. We're addicts. That's what our brain tells us. My brain tells me if I take more of this, I'll feel better. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that when you go in and you're looking like, let me pick all the things that I don't like about the situation. Let me see all the differences. Then you're going to see all the differences. But you go in there with an open mind and an open heart, and you really try to listen and hear what other people are saying that you can connect with. I promise you'll have a different experience. And it's like we can manipulate our loved ones, you guys, because that's what we've done all the time. Sorry, I gotta take my bra off, you guys. It's like really uncomfortable. Okay. So, but here's the deal, you guys. Like, you don't have to go to AA or NA meetings, but there's other programs that you can get into. But I'm just telling you from my experience that the 12 steps were really good for me. And I've learned a lot of what I've learned from my sponsor and people in the rooms. And that's why I try to say, hey guys, if you are new in recovery, try this. But there's other things you can do. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, if you'll go in with an open heart and an open mind and really try to hear something. Okay, if you love your pastor, then try Celebrate Recovery, girl. You would love it. It's a program based on the 12 steps, but it's in your church. And I bet you they have one at your church. And if they don't, I bet you your pastor knows one that you could go to. You guys, I'm telling you, like, I'm not trying to push meetings on anybody, but I'm telling you there are other options out there. You just have to look for them and be willing to try something different. Sometimes when I go into a meeting, okay, let me tell y'all. Last time I went to a meeting, it was amazing. I cried. I just felt like the tingles all over me. We were sharing about step 1, which is surrender, and we were sharing about when we finally surrendered to alcohol and said, you know what, alcohol, You got me. I can't live my life like this anymore. I got to get my life right. So just don't get discouraged if you're struggling like with old behavior and stuff. You're aware of it. So let's just think about this. You're aware of it now. Remember back in the day when you'd be stealing and you would think it was cool because of all the stuff you got? Okay, girl. I'll see you later. I messaged you on Instagram. But that's the thing, you guys. Like, right, I found you. So just don't get discouraged because it happens to all of us.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Really, Shayna? That's so awesome.
I was trying
Did you change it?
I was trying to.
Okay, I'll change it. Let's go get you something to eat. Is that what you said you wanted to do?
Yes.
Okay, get off me, please, son. I don't like it when you climb on me. I love you, but you're putting your little hind on me. But anyway, I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, don't get discouraged. And I'm sure there's some of you that can vouch for me and say, like, we all have been there. Like, some of us might not have stole stuff, but a lot of us have. Okay, what did you do, Nate?
Nothing.
A lot of us, you know, have been there and done that shit. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you what, like, okay, I don't want, like, nowadays, I'm scared to go and do stuff like that because I'm afraid, what if I get caught? And if I get caught, then I'm going to lose everything I've worked so hard for. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you call that, like, reform or what, or if I'm just a scaredy cat. But I'm telling you what, you want a corn dog? Nate, you want a corn dog? Okay, I'm telling you what, I'm scared to get caught. Yeah, and so, Captain, that's the thing. So you take, like, little, there's, like, you know, I don't know if people, places, and things is a 12-step thing. You know, that's just common sense, I think. I mean, because think about it. If we're in addiction and we have people that are, you know, bad for us, then what common sense tells me, if those people are not don't have my best interest at heart, then what do I need to do? I need to get away from those people. I need to change that, you know? And so a lot of it that we, like, kind of associate with the program is it's not per se the program. It's just like common sense for recovery. You know what I mean? And I just think because AA and the 12 steps were, like, created in the 1930s, before the 12 steps were created, there was this group called the Washingtonians, and they would all get together and, like, invite drunk people off the street into their meeting, try to, like, talk to them and help them get sober. I'm telling you guys, like, AA and all that stuff started out so long time ago, like 1930, that things have changed today, you know? So what you got to do is what works for you. It is so, drugs and alcohol are so much, not alcohol, but drugs are so much stronger than they were back then. And so if you have to take parts from the 12 steps, parts from medically assisted treatment, parts from refuge recovery, parts from church, take it all, mash it together, and make it your own program. That's what I do. That's what I've done, and that's what works for me, you guys. So when people come at me and they're like, okay, for instance, with the stigma around medically assisted treatment, when people come at me and try to act like, you know, because I'm on medically assisted treatment, that my recovery's not shit, I'm like, to whose like, I'm not under anybody's wing. I made my own program that works for me, and I just share with you guys what works for me. You know what I mean? But I just had to tell you guys about, because I know what it's like to be out there stealing, and just a lot of that has to do, I know Heather's not here anymore, But a lot of that has to do with Heather's bipolar, and she just has got to get that stabilized. Because my sister's bipolar, and she'll have these manic moments where, like Heather was saying, like where she'll be really manipulative, and she'll go into places and try to steal stuff, and it's just crazy. So that can happen because of mental illness too, you know. So just don't be ashamed, and don't think that you're alone. You're not. I know, girl, they would. So do you take Suboxone like once, like a small dose 3 times a day, or do you have to take it just all at one time? Because my doctor, the way he was telling us about it was, if you want to use it for pain, then it's prescribed in low dosages, 3 times a day. And that like really helps with people's pain. And they've been, actually at my doctor's office, they've had more and more people come in and want to get changed over from their opiates because they know that they're going to be on them for the rest of their life because of the pain. Right? Oh, good. And they know that they're going to be on them for the rest of their life. So they're getting changed over to Suboxone because, okay, that's right. Yeah. And so that's what they've been doing with people who are on like Oxycontin and stuff, and it's like working for them. And they're not like, you know how a lot of people who are on Oxy and stuff, when they're taking their medication, they get that euphoria, and it almost like makes them kind of lackadaisical and just like really tired and like basically high. So when they get put on Suboxone, they don't have that like anymore, you know, because the Suboxone has that ceiling effect, so they're not ever going over it to where they can get high, you know what I mean? And so a lot safer also for older people who are on pain meds, because they're not going to be fucked up, like, you know what I mean? I just, you know, and the thing about it is, like, I get upset at people because, y'all, we have got to be so careful of what we say. We have to be aware of how we talk, especially to people who are new in recovery, especially to people who are on medically assisted treatment, because here's the deal. That person has to do what they have to do to help them, and we don't know anybody's circumstances. So I really try to be mindful of the way I talk to people when they're sharing with me about being on medically assisted treatment, because I remember how hard it was for me to come out and admit that I was on Suboxone. And so many people looked at me, and it was like a shameful feeling, like I was almost. And so I really try to let other people know that, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you, and you keep doing it, you know? Oh, I'm sure it was, you know, and what's harder too, because even though we're drug addicts, you guys, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to suffer and be in pain. Like, okay, say, for instance, you broke your leg in half. I mean, cracked it. And you had to go to the doctor and have major surgery. Just because you're a drug addict doesn't mean you shouldn't go in there and get your opiates to get your fucking pain to go away. You know, there's just a responsible way to go about it, you know? There's a way to go in there and say, you know what? I'm an addict, but I know I need this medication. And already have somebody set up. Oh, this is my husband. He's going to give it to me as prescribed so I don't overtake it and blah, 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 you know? Because a lot of the times us addicts will think, well, I'm an addict. I can't have that, you know? And I remember I was the same way. I freaked out one time because I cut my pinky almost completely off. Hold on. And I had to go to the hospital, and they had pain medication, and they were going to give me pain medication to send me home with. And I was actually living in a halfway house. And I remember screaming. I was like, no, I can't have that because I was so afraid of what would happen if I took that medication, you know, because I knew it would wake up that beast inside of me. I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of it is just like you were saying earlier in the chat, Shayna, if you're ready to get sober and you're honest and you're willing, then you're going to take your medication and you're going to make it work. So it's a process, just like you just said. It's a process to getting honest and surrendering and saying, you know what? I can't do this on my own anymore. I need help. You know, I don't know all the answers. I need help. Do you guys know how hard it was for me to admit that I needed help after all those years of failing? I still thought I could do it on my own. I just don't even, it was horrible. I got to wash these dishes and throw this trash away. Following it is the struggle, right? And what I always tell the people I work with is that follow through is what it's all about. Okay, you can stop taking drugs and alcohol, but if you don't follow through with a treatment program afterward, with therapy, with some kind of program, meetings, I don't care what you go to, guys. I don't care if it's a damn internet smart recovery. I don't care if your damn meeting is coming here and talking to us about recovery. You just need to get connected to other people that are sober who are doing the damn thing too. So that way you can connect with like-minded people. You know, connecting with people who have the same struggles as you. It's like the best feeling in the world to sit down and talk to someone else who has been where you've been.
I don't like when you have to stop.
But I'm going to get off here and spend time with this kid. I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great day. I know. I hate it. I hate being out of control, too. And isn't it so crazy how all of us addicts are such control freaks? Girl, you hit the nail right on the head. You're very smart. Okay, anyways, y'all, I love y'all. I'm going to do a live stream at like 6. So I'll see you guys this evening if you want to at 6. All right.